I'll never leave you, I swear. Baby, don't get upset. Pregnant?
You've had an affair, and now she's pregnant?
It's great news. I'm so happy. Madre de Dios. Why are you telling me this now?
Queen of Angels.
First of all, welcome to the video. This is going to be my review / first impressions video of the first 5 episodes of the new Constantine City of Demons animated series created by the CW Seed. City of Demons, named from an unrelated issue of the Hellblazer comics, is taking John Constantine back to his roots, back to London, England, harking back to the comments, which helps bring back the Britishness of the original series, and back to being a chain smoker too.
Yeah, right. Tell us another one, John.
And, because of this, it's not a continuation of the live-action series, but is more in line with the comics. Apart from the Newcastle part of it, which I'll explain later, obviously Chaz, one of his best mates, being back to being British, and voiced by the talented Damien O'Hare, a direct contrast to his live-action counterpart. And there's plenty of moments in these first 5 episodes, and I use the word episodes very loosely here, which get to better represent the characters' relationships, and how John approaches them, just like in the comic books, being somewhat distant and tongue-in-cheek and sarcastic towards his friends, rather than the moody and almost brooding way he appears in the live-action series.
Christ, we don't want any!
Open the bloody door, John!
Chaz?
Maybe this isn't a good time.
It's never a good time, mate.
And again, this is one of the reasons why this animated series is going back to its roots, because it was those tongue-in-cheek moments, those moments where John was sarcastic or wily or witty, which showed a great depth and humour to his character. Even though he was brooding in the comic books, he always tried to cover it with his humour. And the reason for this was his history. He's been through a lot of shit, and it just represents the world around him in the comic books as well. The political climate, the popular culture of the time, the general feeling of life and existence in that period of time required that, and is also reflective in the other characters as well, such as Asa tricking people for information.
Tell me about Newcastle. No, I can't. It wasn't a request.
The monster pig answering the door.
Enstrom. Move the letters around and what have you got?
Monster?
It's funny, eh?
Yeah, I'm in hysterics.
Yes.
Clearly the right place.
And again, the relationship and dialogue between Chaz and John.
So, you two lived happily ever after, eh?
Not exactly. We've been separated for 7 months.
Who do you shag then, knobhead?
Nobody. If it was as simple as that, maybe we could have...
Could have what?
And, apart from the wonderful Matt Ryan being the perfect John Constantine, and Chaz Chandler, voiced by Damien O'Hare, the Nightmare Nurse, otherwise known as Asa the Healer, is voiced by the wonderful Laura Bailey, and Renee Chandler is voiced by Emily O'Brien. And the voice acting of the rest of the ensemble is on point so far in these first 5 episodes, and really add to the characters and their personalities. So, another plus there. So breaking it down into a kind of compliment sandwich, the positives, for me at least, are that the magic works a hell of a lot better in the animation than the live action version.
And the only way I'm gonna stop you nasty little buggers is to take you back! Daemonium Redditus! Daemonium Redditus! Daemonium Redditus!
Which is a big part of the Hellblazer world, again going back to its roots. And also, the themes are a lot darker, and some of the violence and gore and sexuality and language is darker and more mature. Again, better aimed to its adult nature and its adult audience, just like the Hellblazer comics are. Some of these themes being the corruption of souls and the offices and places on Earth where demons operate, being a commentary on modern society and how politics operates, which would be quite difficult to do in the current climate in a live action action series. And now, the negatives. For me, these episodes are far too short. These first 5 mini episodes that I'm gonna say rather than episode, because it is testing the meaning of that word, should have been just one episode by itself. 5 minutes here, 6 minutes there is not an episode. And for me, these first 5 mini episodes are more of a setup for the rest of the series anyway, which technically would have worked better as a 1 episode pilot in my opinion. And the second thing, which got on my nerves a little bit, was they didn't need to retell the origin story again, being the story of Newcastle. They changed it. And although it was depicted in a very violent and gory way, true to the comics, but they changed the story. Me, being a fan of the comics, I prefer the origin story from the books, although it was retold many times in the comics too. It's something that's just in the live action series, and they mention it basically whenever John Constantine gets any screen time. I would rather focus on character development and telling this new story of the City of Demons, which in my opinion they do successfully so far, and it will be interesting to see further episodes and how they progress the rest of the series and the rest of the story. However, don't get me wrong, I do realise that this again is a kind of revamp being cut off from the live action series, and they technically do need to introduce a new audience to this, so I do understand why they would have shown the origin story in these first mini episodes. So yeah, overall I think it's a really good start. Strong writing so far, characters are good and interesting, there's a lot of humour which goes back to the comics, the characters are deep, the voice acting is brilliant, the animation is amazing, so it'll be interesting to see which direction they take it in. Please like this video if you like the content so far, and subscribe if you want to see future content. Also, don't forget to click on the little alarm bell icon so you're reminded when any new videos are released. And also, if you are interested in the supernatural and occult investigation or thrillers or horror, check out my book below, Old Eyes. You can get a free complimentary copy for signing up to the mailing list. Otherwise, let me know what you think in the comments below. I love to hear what people think of the new kind of podcast style that I'm trying to do, as well as any comments on what you think of this new animated series too. And I'll see you in the next one.